One of the best things that you can do in life is gain a better perspective. Your perspective will carry you through the rest of your life and will determine if you have a good or bad life. It's not even so much about what you experience, the wealth that you gather, the material items that you have. It's more so about the perspective that you have about life, or that you can gather as you're going through it. Because one thing is for certain is that you cannot avoid bad or unfortunate things from happening in your life. For you to truly live life, you got to accept the good along with the bad. So it is your perspective of life in general that allows you to transmute bad or negative or lower things, thoughts, behaviors into more neutral or positives. And even within that, your ability to not care about most things will help you to have a more neutralized mind. Life is a mental game. We all know that money just emphasizes what is already underneath. So that's why somebody can be born into a rich family. However, if they're not mentally stable, they don't work on their mind, which is why the mind is the most important thing that you should get to know, that you should work on. Then you still gonna have a life filled with a lot of misfortunes, a lot of you causing your own problems for yourself. So mental health is a big thing, but a lot of our mental health problems come down to the societal programming and conditioning that we have been fed to as we've been growing up. And I'm not on here trying to preach to anybody. I'm simply just touching on a topic that I've been pulling apart for the longest in my life. I'm gonna put back on my glasses here because I can't see a thing right now, but I'll take them off so you can see my eyes. However, you're gonna have to deal with my glasses on at this point because I need to be able to see. And with this particular talk, I'm not trying to preach to you as if I know any more than what you do. I know nothing. What I recently just wrote in my notes for the perspective shift that I've been having is that I am everything and nothing at the same time. I've been tapping into the Kabbalion for the first time, and it's definitely been eye-opening. But that's been one of the biggest things about this life that has been hard for my mind to wrap itself around, which it will never be able to fully do because the mind is full of confusion. The mind itself is confusion because we can only perceive what up until what our brains allow us to. And most of what's actually happening around us, we cannot see. We cannot see the vibrating atoms. We see matter as solid objects. So our perception on reality, the physical reality, is much of an illusion, meaning we don't see all of the working parts behind what's actually going on in front of our eyes. So we very limited on what we can perceive. Therefore, we very limited on the conclusions that we can come to about life in general. But it's like that for a reason, right? I'm understanding that I am everything and nothing at the same time. What does that mean? It's a paradox, meaning as above, so below, as within, so without. Everything that is something is also nothing within itself. And the more you can wrap your mind around that, the more still your mind will become. See, in the Kabbalion, it basically just states that the all, which you can say is God, spirit, the all is everything. And the universe exists within the mind of the all. So if this circle here is the mind of the all, this would technically be where the universe exists. The universe is just a creation of the all, which means that everything that exists is only a thought. So truly, we don't really exist. The only thing that truly exists is the all. But because we exist within the mind of the all, that means that the all is within everything that it has created within its own mind. With that being said, you, me, everything that you perceive is the all. However, at the same time, it is not the all, because in order to be the all, you would need to be the all, which we are not, because we are man. We are human, woman, man. So we are not the all. We are the creations of the all. However, the all is inside of us. We are thoughts of the all. So within that, because you are just the thought of the all, you technically don't exist. So you're nothing. However, you are everything because you do exist. So your life, this whole life that you're experiencing, comes down to you acknowledging the paradox of the life that it is that you live in. When you're able to gain that concept and still live life as it is normal, as you're supposed to, while still understanding the concept of from which you exist, you're able to stop taking everything so serious. And that's a big part of all of this. The society that we live in right now make it a big thing that if you're not leaving behind some legacy, if you're not doing something big, if you're not having kids, if you just leave this planet without doing anything, if you die without doing anything that's substantial, then you did something wrong, that you lived your life wrong. But that is literally impossible for you to live your life wrong, because everything that's happening within life itself is so much more grand than what we can possibly understand, that you can never do something outside of, you can never do anything wrong. You can never live your life wrong. It's only by the standards that society has set for us in our life that we pretend that if you're not doing a certain thing that you're a failure. And this is the societal programming and conditioning that keeps you from your greatest awakening, your own spiritual development, which is the remembrance and the realization, the manifestation of your closeness with spirit, your connection with spirit, spirit being God, spirit being the all. You need to understand your relationship with God, and understanding that you are spirit, but at the same time, you're not spirit. It's all a paradox. This whole thing about life is just a paradox. So it doesn't matter essentially what you do within your lifetime, but at the same time, it does. It only matters if you want to do something with it. And it only matters what it is that you want to do with it, whatever matters to you. You cannot force something to matter for you. The only thing you're really here to do is to exist. You matter a lot to the all because you are a thought of the all. The all thought you into existence. So you matter a lot. But you matter in terms of the plan of the all and why it created everything that we experience, and as well as the universe, which is some things that we will never know through our minds. Our minds are limited in a sense, right? Because we are just the characters, and the author is God. The author is the all. We will never understand fully the true nature of the author. And that's fine. That's completely okay. We were made in the all's image. We were made in God's image. So the more you're able to understand the creator, the more you're able to understand the creation. But it's still going to be limited. Our mind's always going to be limited on what it can understand. But it is within the mind to gather, organize, and be able to handle that confusion consciously. Within the paradoxes is your ability to be able to organize it and to handle that confusion and apply it to your life consciously. Not to overstand it, but really to understand it, because you will never overstand life. So while there is technically lower life forms, and then we have higher life forms, deities, gods, or you call them angels, archangels. The hierarchies are paradoxes within themselves, because the hierarchies essentially are still just within the thought of the all. So they are not true hierarchies in a sense. They only shift by a small bit in degrees. So the smallest shift in your understanding of the confusion of your conscious life can elevate your own mind, your own soul to become a higher being while you're still here. But it's only within stripping from the programming and the conditioning of society at large that you're able to do that. Like, the more you decide not to fit in and to stand out and to think differently, the more you are rewarded with a more sovereign experience while you're here. When it comes to trying to understand and control the thoughts of others, of other people, you really got to let a lot of that stuff go. It doesn't matter what a person thinks about you. When you try to get somebody to like you so much, when you try to get this other person to do so much, to do something for you, when you try to manipulate or convince other people of something, it's not a productive way to live your life. Is worrying about the minds of other people, because ultimately their mind is within their control, and they can they can do whatever it is that they wish to do. And that's not within your control. And the more you try to manipulate, or the more you try to change yourself to be in good favors or correspondence with their minds, the more you lose in the plot of you being you. You can never control another person. The more you try to, the more you lose in the plot yourself. Only thing that you're here to do is to become more aware of the experience that you have and outside of societal programming and conditioning.